All right, welcome back to another episode of Conversations with Jay. Got another special guest in the building. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
Hello, everyone. I am Miss Shantay, excuse me, your woman of life. I am a sex doula.
Okay.
I'm a birth doula and a spiritual life coach, and I also am the co-host of Fluent Radio, which is across the hall from you, and my own show on Fluent Radio as well.
Okay, so let's start at the sex doula. Okay, explain to me exactly what that is.
Okay, so a sex doula can have a variety of niches, like any type of, like a life coach. There's multiple different life coaches out there. My expertise is in balancing the masculine and feminine energy of the womb and the sexual intimate act as well.
You say of the woman or the womb?
The womb.
Okay, so, because obviously, you know what I'm saying, all that is over my head. You know, I've never had a conversation with a sex doula. So why would that be important to me as a man?
Let me ask you a question. Can you cuss on here?
Yes, you can. Feel free. Go ahead.
So why is it important to you as a man? Do you want angry pussy?
See, now, then I would have to question, like, what is angry pussy?
Well, I mean, everybody's experienced some bad pussy before, just
okay,
like
so
we've experienced bad dick before.
Okay, so anytime is not up to par, we just gonna say angry pussy.
Nah, it don't have to be angry if it's not up to par. It can be traumatized. It could be hurt. It could be a lot of different things going on.
Right.
So.
Are there, now, with you being, I'm just gonna say deep in it, you know what I'm saying? Do you encounter a lot of women that just don't understand themselves in that universe?
Yes, but there's more women that don't understand than there are women. And it's natural because a man doesn't have a vagina.
Right.
But there's also a huge amount of men who feel like it's just pussy. And that's not what it is.
So how...
It came from a pussy, so why is it just pussy?
So can it be flaws inside of me as a man that affects how a woman sexually delivers herself to me?
Yes, sir.
Come on, let's get into it.
Yes, sir. It actually comes a lot from men.
From trauma, lying, cheating, deceiving, heartbreak,
abuse, childhood upbringings, regular life experiences, unbalanced chemicals of the body. All of those things can play a part.
Okay, now, I had a conversation with a female, and this was just something that I came across on the internet. I don't know how true it is, but periods are uncommon or should be uncommon in women.
Okay, so there's like a really huge debate about that. The cleaner a woman's body is, the less chance she has a period. Because there isn't anything to clean out, if that makes sense. Because, I'm sorry, somebody keep trying to call me. What happens with the period is basically the womb is cleaning itself.
Right.
It's a self-cleaning, you know how you got a self-cleaning oven? You got a self-cleaning womb.
Right.
But, depending on what you put in your mouth, comes out your vagina. Just like the same thing what you put in your mouth comes out your penis.
Now, I agree with you on that because, once again, if I'm eating bad, then I taste bad. But if
your semen is bad.
That's what I'm talking about. If I done had me some pineapples, then I've experienced someone say that I taste good. And I was like, damn, what I do? And then put two and two together. I was eating more fruit and drinking more water. I wasn't eating as bad because this was when I was trying to get my body together. And now that I'm eating just bullshit again, I was recently just told it was salty. So, what am I trying to ask?
You're traumatized. Okay, so anything that comes from you, any traumatizing experiences you've had, and I'm going to hit you a little bit harder with this. Any bad pussy you done had, you're giving it to the next woman.
How?
Because we receive. Y'all are givers, we're receivers. So we don't penetrate y'all penetrate us.
Right.
So with that being said, when a man has sex with a woman, or a woman gives birth to a male, parts of his DNA is left inside of her. That's a scientific fact.
Right.
So every woman you've slept with without a condom, you've left a trace of yourself inside of her. Now you adorn her. You're a part of her for forever.
So, okay. So if her body count
like this.
if her body count is ridiculous, how am I not experiencing those men?
You are. But your body count is ridiculous too. So then that means that y'all experiencing everybody that you've ever slept with. I'm actually going to do a talk about this coming Wednesday.
So wearing a condom is way more important than just catching STDs.
Oh yes, being mindful of who you have sex with is even more important than wearing a condom, because you're actually exchanging energy, not just exchanging secretions and bodily fluids.
Now, at what age did you actually get into this sex doula? Or better yet, before that, what interests you in it?
I love sex. I love healthy, happy sex.
Okay.
I have 5 children. I told you that.
So it had to be so was it before the kids, or while you had 1, 2, and then you was like, I want to know more about myself, more about my body. I want to
I've
please
always
my
been
partner.
very intrigued with the human body. Before I got into my own business, I was in the medical field. I'm still actually in the medical field in my own business.
Right.
So going through the process of like learning myself and knowing that I like the human body, it's like being in the medical field, having a medical degree, you get to learn what parts of the body you're expert at. And the reproductive system just happens to be my home, that in the mind.
Now, I know my niece, she was born, I want to say through a birth doula, and that's when you're in home with them and there's no drugs or no anything. It's just a natural birth. You can get
the hospital with them too, but a birth doula is a support system.
So explain it.
So birth doulas, we are there to, most times before the pregnancy, during the pregnancy, once the baby is born, through labor and all of those good things, and then a little bit after the baby is born as well.
Right.
Now, if you have postpartum in a part of your services, you can be there for up to 7 years after the baby is born, because postpartum actually dwindles into, like, you can be postpartumly depressed for 7 years after birth of a baby.
Now, did you get into that field because you wanted to help women?
I like babies.
So that's why you decided to. And a lot of people don't understand. Okay, let me ask you this, because you there for the birth and everything, so you more well versed than me. Is it best for a woman to lay down while she's giving birth or stand up?
So, scientific wise, it's better for her to use gravity. But body wise, how you got the baby in there is how you get the baby out of there. So if you was riding when you got pregnant, I'm gonna need you to get up and
So basically, a woman
she needs to be in tune with her body, and she needs to listen to her body.
And
her body is going to tell her how to get that baby out.
Yeah. Now that's crazy, because I've never heard that. So if she was taking it from the back, then that's how she needed to give birth. Why is that?
It's the design of the body. It's like the only way you can come out is the way you go in, right?
Right.
So it's the same way with the baby. The only way the baby can come out is the way the baby went in. It's the exact same way.
Now, are any of those sexual partners passed on through the baby in some type of way?
I want to say no, but genetic wise, because a woman has been with being with a man and he leaves a part of his DNA inside of her, there are chemical balances and unbalances that could transfer over to the baby. Yes.
Now, have you ever experienced any women that she just had toxic partners, and before you even got into like a deep conversation with her, you can actually look at her and be like, man, she done been with the wrong type of dudes?
I mean, we all have. Even men. I talk to a lot of men too. Men don't realize that they need dick healing too.
Hey, I've never heard that I needed dick healing. So help me understand. You know what I'm saying? Because I've dealt with great women that never had an argument with, never had to raise my voice at, never disrespect me. And I've dealt with women that it was just 100% disrespect, like from start to finish.
So I'm going to pick your brain and I'm going to pick your heart in that aspect. If you know that there was this side where you didn't have any problems, why did you run away and go to this side where there were all problems?
I would say at the time where I was with the woman that was 100% straight shooter, I wasn't ready for that. I was still dealing with my own traumas and my own sort of heartbreak that at the beginning she actually added to. You know what I'm saying? Where there was signs that, I mean, she actually showed me things that I was like, you don't have to lie to me. Mm-hmm. And it was distrust built at the beginning, but I saw a good woman after, you know what I'm saying, we got past that, even though I never got past that. And that was something in me. It had nothing to do with her.
So in that aspect, this is a part where we as women say, why don't men get it until it's damn near too late or it's already too late? Right. And it's because of something else and someone else that has hurt you prior to. So it can be a red flag, but it's not the same person. It's not the same situation, but it's still a red flag. Right. So yes, it is a proceed with caution or it's a stop, but that stop has to come from you. And if you don't choose to make that stop or you don't choose to go forward, then you just basically holding on to some shit and passing it around. It's energy. Right. It's all energy. If you don't heal it, you don't address it, you don't put boundaries to it, you don't do something about it or to it, it's just energy. You just like free willy-nilly with it. Like, here, you get a car, everybody get a car.
Have you ever looked at yourself as a sex therapist?
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself more of a sex? Because sex doula and then birth doula, I would say all that is one in itself. Because you can't have sex without the child. You can't have the child without sex.
You can't be in love without that.
How much does love play into relationships nowadays? Because I would think it was easy to love back in the day. And now I would say women, they don't put up with the bullshit like they used to. So we as men see them as harder to deal with because they don't deal with our bullshit and they just cut us off. A whole bunch
of fads.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand it. I've done some fucked up shit to women, you know what I'm saying? I've lied, I've cheated, I've done everything. And it took me as a man to grow and understand, like, damn, I shouldn't have did her like that. I was wrong for that, to put myself in this position now where I won't cheat on you. You know what I'm saying? I will just leave you. You know what I'm saying? I won't sit and argue with you. I just leave the room. You know what I'm saying? So it took me to grow as a man to understand that it takes two to love. It takes two for everything.
Everything.
And we always put it off on the other person mistakes, even though we never look in the mirror and say, damn, I added on to those mistakes.
So love now it is harder now. It's harder to love now. And the reason why it's so much more harder to love now is because our parents come from those traumatized relationships and upbringing. Because if you think about our grandparents, they were the ones that was putting up with Tom, Dick, Harry, Susie, Sam. Mm-hmm. And they stayed no matter what. Because in their minds, what goes on in this house, stay in this house. Yeah, they out there doing X, Y, and Z, but leave your dirty mop water outside. Don't bring that shit in this house. Right. Okay, daddy's still doing, he a rolling stone, but he taking care of home. That's not healthy. It's not healthy. Now, if y'all could come to terms with me like, all right, we going to co-parent, we going to live together, but you do your thing out there, I'm going to do my thing out here. But in here, we taking care of this. Don't nothing come in here. Right. Then that's cool because it's open, it's honest, and ain't nobody doing no fuck shit behind each other back. But because our parents and our grandparents have tolerated so much of that shit, we saw that shit and we thought it was okay. So now we like, well, shit, mommy and daddy did it. Grandma and grandpa did it. it was alright. Ain't nothing wrong with me. Yes, the hell it is something wrong with you. What the fuck? What? Why you think this okay?
And
So now that when we see love and we like, damn, this is not the love that I want. This is not the love that I want to give. We have healing to do, and we have to heal in order to heal our mothers and our fathers and our elders and our ancestors.
Did you have to go through your own personal healing process to be like, this is something that I want to do?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And what did that teach you?
If I'm feeling like this, I know it's a whole world of people out there feeling like this.
Now, with you saying that, that's the reason I had this conversation with Jay. And I tell people, like, no matter what you're going through, if somebody else going through the same thing. And you never know if they going to stumble across this conversation or not. Mm-hmm. But this conversation may be the conversation that they need to hear just to get their life together.
Yep.
And I don't think enough people understand how healthy it is to have a conversation, because we always used to arguing and yelling at each other.
You can't fix nothing arguing and yelling, because everybody just trying to get their point across. Whose voice is louder? Listen to me, because I'm talking now. That's all arguments do.
All right, now you say you started your own business. Let's get into that. Exactly what is your business?
I'm a woman of life. Everything I do surrounds life. From sex, that's life. It produces life. Birth brings life into this world, and a spiritual life coach. I'm going to help you get through life.
So if somebody wanted to reach out to you, what would be the best way for them to reach out to you?
Social media is definitely a huge platform for all of us these days. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I'm on a couple of all-black social media apps, Melanated People in the Cookout. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm everywhere. Just look for Shantay McKennie or Woman of Life or Shantay's Love.
Now, is there an age range that you start or stop at?
No, I have teenagers, so, I help them too.
Now, how important is it for you to reach the youth?
It's very important.
I don't think
they're going to take care of us. And if we don't get our shit together, ooh, Lord Jesus.
I know growing up, like, I never had anybody to openly vent to except for, like, my homies. Mm-hmm. And it was crazy because I had a situation where, we speaking openly on my podcast, where I had, I was dealing with a girlfriend at the time, and I don't know who was true. I don't know who was lying to the other or what. But girlfriend's supposed to told the baby mama something, pissed the baby mama off. I get a letter in the mail from child support.
Oh, Lord.
I've always been the one to be there for my kids. I had my son when I opened the letter. You know what I'm saying? So it hurt me that would even happen. And that was the first real honest conversation I had with my mother. And at that time, I want to say I probably was like 25. And once I had that conversation, I let her know I never felt comfortable talking to her. You know what I'm saying? I never felt comfortable bringing any of my issues to her because I never did that. And it was never like a sign on the door that said I was even able to do that. Mm-hmm. And me and my mother had that conversation, which was hard for me, but it had to happen.
Right.
And I learned that I could talk to my mama. She just might tell my family members what we talked about. You feel me? Mm-hmm. So that brought me and my mother closer. So do you find it helpful to actually get to these kids before they reach adulthood with all of this trauma that they dragging? Because people act like teenagers don't go through anything.
Oh, my goodness. I said that not too long ago. It's like, especially with COVID, it's like everybody's so, like, I don't want to say selfish, but in a sense that is, like, people are kind of selfish. Like, I'm going through X, Y, and Z. Pay attention to me. Help me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, well, what the hell about the kids? Right. There's children around here. Some don't have a home. Some are in abused homes, neglected, abandoned, and all these other things going on with these children. I have a high rep for people thinking that me and my children are friends because we have such a tight-ass bond. Like, you'll see me and my girls together, and you'll be like, y'all look like sisters. You'll see me and my son together, and they be thinking we boyfriend and girlfriend. Right. Because of, one, I don't look like I have 5 children. But
facts.
we have that close of a bond. Like, I talk to my children about everything, and I don't sugarcoat it. Like, I tell them it, like, if you fucking up, you fucking up. Stop the dumb shit. Get together. And that's opened the door for them to know that they can come to me and talk to me about anything. I share my experiences with them. I don't hide shit from them. Yeah, I did that. Don't do that. You don't want to do that. Yeah, so it's very imperative, because either they have someone to talk to or they're going to find out the hard way.
Facts. Now, that was something that I tell my kids. Like, I never wanted them to be in a situation where they can't tell me something. And I always tell them, like, man, if you lie to me, I cannot help you.
Man.
I can only help you if you tell the truth. So I let them know you're not going to get in trouble for the truth. Even if your truth is fucked up, you're not going to get in trouble. We're going to figure out how to deal with it. You're going to get in trouble for these lies. And I want to say, my adult life, I've always dealt with women that had children. And the first relationship where I had to deal with someone else's child, that was an extremely hard learning curve to constantly have someone else's child around, and then to have to deal with the mother not wanting the father to see that child, and me as a father never being okay with that. You know what I'm saying? It's a million situations that I can speak on that I've just seen toxic shit, and I've watched it spill over into the child. And for some reason, I've always had my eyes open where I could relay these messages, and I could tell people, like, hey, you shouldn't be whooping this child. This child has done nothing wrong.
Man.
You whooping this child ass out of frustration.
Yes. I'm not big on ass whoopings. I'm not. I need to know what's going on with you. I need to know how you're thinking. I need to know how you're feeling. One of the things that I learned as a mother at a very early stage and being a mother is you do literally have to teach your children how to think. They're going to automatically know how to feel.
Right.
They're going to automatically have emotions. That's a natural part of being a human. But trying to actually process what they're feeling and their emotions and then verbally say it, they can, because they don't know how to put their thoughts together so they can get their words out. So that was one of the things that I was really like, okay. Nobody told me I had to teach children how to think. And it was because my parents didn't tell me that they had to teach me how to think.
Right.
And then some of us are just naturally born thinkers. And then some of us are like, okay, well, what the hell do I do with all of this? So teaching my children how to think and process themselves and then actually, like, use their words was very key things for me. And then making sure that they knew their five senses. Like, if you can tune in with your five senses, it's a little bit more easier for you to understand yourself.
At what age did you start teaching these things? And what age were you able to have those honest conversations with your kids?
Oh, it started from jump. Like, it started from jump. When babies can get up and move around, crawl around, don't get out of that.
Right. You
know you ain't gonna be like, babies are very smart. Very smart.
I have no idea why people underestimate children at all. I don't care what age that child is.
They know how to get over on you.
That's all. That to me, a kid.
I think babies are a lot wiser than adults are.
Facts. We may not know why they crying, but at the same reason, they crying for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And at some age, they recognize that these cries get reactions. So
very early, actually.
So
within the first 1 to 2 weeks of life.
Let me get this reaction that I need to get exactly what I need. And I don't think people look at it like, man, this child is like gaming me, but they got to game me to live. And they're smart. Like, I knew that a child was able to swim at birth. You know what I'm saying? But that's crazy to me. Like, I don't even know how to swim. Look, I done forgot how to swim. I didn't even know I knew how to swim, you know? So it's amazing that you had that type of relationship with your kids. And I think we all need to have that relationship with our kids. Because if we had those type of relationships, let's just say half these kids wouldn't be out here killing people. They wouldn't be out here beating up the home. They wouldn't just be out here wild.
They wouldn't be out here what we call gothic in our generation. They call emus today.
Right.
And it's a lot of those. And there's absolutely, to me, I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with it. but it's what they do that's wrong with it. And it's like, I don't know, it's just so many children that are strung out on drugs. Not weed. There are a lot of potheads. Don't get me wrong.
All right, weed different.
And you know what? I'm gonna speak about the good and the bad on potheads, because, like I said, there's a lot of children that's strung out on drugs, and it's because nobody's teaching them how to process themselves.
Right.
Nobody's teaching them about themselves. Mommy don't know shit about herself. Daddy don't know shit about himself. And instead of them trying to make sure that they learn about themselves, they're gonna run out here and go fuck XYZ because they don't know nothing about themselves. Mm-hmm. That's not how you get better. That's not. And then when somebody tell you about yourself, they don't know nothing about. Stop. Hold on. Come here. Let me give you a hug, because that's all you need.
Man.
And then the cycle just repeats itself. But as far as potheads, like, there's absolutely nothing wrong with smoking weed. But when you smoke just to be smoking, or you smoking because you're bored and you can't function, like, come on, man. You can't look like weed.
I had that conversation with people. Like, it's okay to partake. Mm-hmm. It's a difference to abuse. And I feel like it's too many people abusing the drugs nowadays. Yes. Let alone taking drugs, they don't even know what the fuck it is. Like, somebody handing you a pill, you don't even know what's in that pill. You just taking it.
Because everybody else taking it.
And I can't understand that. I can never understand that.
I can't.
That's just.
We don't have leaders for children.
We don't have anybody that necessarily speaks for the children. Like on a platform where you can see on TV or in a TV show, like, it's never advocating for children.
Nope. The children have been lost in the matrix. Completely lost in the matrix.
How do you think we as a society can change that?
Get yourself together. You can help other people whether you're together or not, because, like, you and I here, I don't know what you're going through. You don't know what I'm going through. But the more you interact and you speak with each other, you're going to know that, okay, we came together for a reason. Right. Whether we chose to come together or it was by natural instincts that we came together. I'm going to help you in some type of way. You're going to help me in some type of way. And those things alone are going to help you get your shit together. But you got to also be able and open and willing to get your shit together. You can't just be like, shit, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm good. Right. And the more we get ourselves together, the children are going to follow. Children don't listen these days. And even if they do listen, they like, shit ain't finna happen to me. I got this.
Facts. And so, then they get our age and look back and be like, damn,
mama and daddy told me, or XYZ told me, I saw this. So it's like, we have to actually physically lead by example so they see what we're doing. They listening, but they like, what you gonna tell me to do something, but you doing this? Like, no, we literally have to, practice what we preach. So if you're going to preach about it, you got to actually walk the walk.
Right.
When they see that, they're going to be like, oh, okay. That's how you do it.
All right. So before we get out of here, is there any last words you want to deliver to people? Like, I'm a host on another podcast, and we always end it with, like, some wise words. And I feel like you the perfect person to do that right now.
As an adult, because it's a lot of stressful shit going on in life right now, I am going to say, if you cannot fix it, do not stress about it. If you can fix it, get your ass up and do something about it. That's an adult. As a parent, I'm going to tell you that you should not self-sabotage, because any decision you make, I'm more than sure you've thought about it. You've cried about it. You've not slept about it. You've overslept about it. And this was the best decision that you could make.
You should get paid for that. Like, people should, like, if they having an event or something, they should just pay you at the end of the night just to send everybody home safely. Because I don't know what it is, but, like, you got, like, a common aura and a common vibe. Like, if I was going through something and I was finna burn down this building, like, they need to send you.
I might help you get clip. I'm gonna throw some more in the fire. You feel better now?
But thank you for coming through, because you didn't have to. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it for you coming through.
Thank you for having me.
No problem.
Very grateful to be interacting with you.
Thank you, y'all. I appreciate everybody out there listening. This has been another episode of Conversations with Jay.
Thank you. I am Miss Shantay, your sis, your woman of life. And that's a little bit of my peace, my love, my light, and my eternal life.
See, she too perfect. She too good at this.
Yeah, we A-okay, baby.